Here we go. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good, good.
Hello, hello. Mic check
There
one,
you
two.
go. I can't see you. I can't see. I need to see you.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
go. See you,
Njani
Bantu.
Mo.
All the
Yeah.
way from KZN. How are you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Cannot complain. No one listens.
Good, 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 good. Thank you for joining us this evening, Sia. We're gonna have I would say fasten your seatbelt. You know, the road is gonna be
Oh,
bumpy
yeah.
and dangerous.
Yeah. It's still an opportunity to decline. Let's go. Let's go for it. How are you,
Yeah,
man? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Sia, man. I'm doing okay. We are in Cape Town here. Cape Town is quite chilly. We have beautiful weather. Everyone is great. So yeah, how's Durban?
I'm not in Durban currently. I'm north, what's it? Half an
Okay.
hour north of Richards Bay, Emakaya. So yeah. It's warm here still in shorts. Broke my slops the other day. They only let us buy slops, but we will survive.
Okay. So, Sia, I'm gonna rock the boat quickly.
Oh dear.
See, you were born in Durban, and
Yes.
your great grand teacher introduced you to sailing. Can you take me through your sailing journey?
So yeah, I started sailing, or I was introduced to sailing in grade nine. From there, I was introduced by my grade nine geography teacher at the time, who was by the name of Jackie Barnard, or I call her Mrs. Barnard. And she was part of an organization, um, a not-for-profit organization that um, I don't know what the sound is. She was part of a not-for-profit organization that helped underprivileged kids get introduced into sailing. And she had been trying to catch me to go into sailing for a while, and I'd always rejected. Um, a couple of times, I think she took about 3 weeks for her to finally, catch me, and then from there I was hooked into sailing, and in Durban I got lots of opportunities. Yeah, so that's my introduction to sailing.
That sounds super well. The way how you get into sailing, it's quite amazing, you know. And I believe your teacher is proud wherever he is at the moment.
I hope so. I've had my bumps and bruises into sailing, but we're here today. I think it's been a pretty awesome ride with the sailing. It's been pretty amazing, as you'll find out tonight.
Yeah. Just another one. Just another one.
Yes,
You feel you got this amazing opportunity to sail on Highland Fling in Palma. Is that correct?
yes, Highland
Yes.
Spring.
Yes. How did you feel when you were approached, when you were offered this opportunity to sail on the super yacht?
Um, I think. Oh, okay. First, I'll introduce Highland Fling and what exactly it is. Highland Fling is a super yacht. So it's not your regular yacht that you'll see at the yacht club. Super yachts is the term super yacht. Obviously, it describes itself, but normally, it's a big yacht, and it's the yacht was 115 foot, which is pretty massive, 3 times anything that I'd sailed at the time. And it was owned by a man by the name of Irvin Laidlaw, who's, I think saying wealthy is an understatement, but he was very wealthy, and he's Scottish, and he had given this opportunity. He's very fond of South Africa, and he'd given the opportunity at the time for there to be a new navigator for his racing yacht in Cape Town. And if you're in the sailing scene anywhere in South Africa, I think that was the boat, or is the boat still to be on. Yeah, so it was amazing. When I got there, it was a whole new world. I had never been to Spain before, so it was amazing. I'd never been to the Mediterranean. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your role there on Highland Fling? You were a navigator. You were learning.
So my role at the time was deckhand. Basically, the guy who just helps out with everything is the all-rounder. And then obviously the training, what I came there for, the training on the boat. And I was trained by an America's Cup navigator. So it's like 0 to 100. Got chucked into the deep end and sink or swim.
So you would sum it up for me that, to get where you are, you have to be kind of ready to work your way up. Start on the deckhand, do the dirty work until you climb the ladder up. Is that what you can advise someone who would like to see themselves in a level where you are at?
Oh, I can give you a short map of how I did it. But yeah, in short, it is what you say it is. How I started, or after grade 12, I decided that, with the sailing that I've fallen in love with for 3 years in high school, that I was going to go out to Cape Town and, I'm going to give it a shot. And if it bounces, well, it bounces. And it was very difficult to explain it to my family that this is what I wanted to do. My mother understood, but the rest of the family was, very traditional. Go to university, do your thing, and come out with a degree. But it wasn't easy. I worked as a rigger, and then worked doing other small jobs until you meet people in the sailing fraternity and they bring you up, which is the amazing thing about sailing. But to answer your question, yes, you've got to be ready to help out and make sure that there's no job too big or too small for you, and always be willing to help. That's my 2 cents.
That's the only recipe to make it. Okay, Sia, I made a mental note that I'm going to ask you this one.
Yeah.
So you were in learning. You were taught by the best navigator, as you say. So you came back in Cape Town.
Yes.
At Mykonos. Something went on Cape 2019.
Wow.
Do you want to share?
Really no practice, are we?
What exactly happened? Because the moment we saw the boat and then we heard on the radio, Kipling retired. What exactly happened?
Yo, you really had to ask that one. Okay, so I come back from Europe. I've trained, and now it's time to show what I've learned, to show my skills. And yeah, man, I mean, it was also another sink or swim. So I'd been given this role as navigator, practiced it, did my homework, and then I had a mistake. I had taken my eye off the ball for literally probably 2 seconds, and we had gone around this island called Gasson Island, And you know that's the most rockiest place around the race course in Cape Town, on the Mykonos race. That's the one place you do not want to hit. And I'd taken my eye off the ball. We were just at the wrong lane, at the wrong time, wrong place. And my number one job was to be next to the skipper and driver at the time, Irvin Laidlaw. And I was supposed to be communicating with him, and I just wasn't there. I got cold feet around the rock and hit the rock.
That was quite a moment.
I think that's the safest way to put it right now. So I have a job next season.
But that's how we learn. That's how we learn. We do those mistakes. You know, it's an educational error. You know, one can just take it up and just say it's part of the game.
Yes, it was a very expensive error. I think we had the same incident on Highland Fling in an island called what's the island called? I forgot the name of the island, but anyway, we hit a rock, and I was supposed to learn from that, and so I didn't. But man, we learn, we make mistakes, and I think the biggest thing is to learn from all these mistakes. It's been a roller coaster of a ride in sailing. Every step that I've got up to, I made a major mistake. The Highland Fling incident, you know, there was a rock involved as well. So you learn from that mistake, you move on. You have the Cape Fling incident, you hit a rock, you move on, and there's bigger and better things happening as long as you learn. You know, fall forward, the most important thing.
Like you said, my brother, we fall forward. We learn from the mistake, we push forward, we try again until we get them right. Now, let's talk good stuff now. Let's talk good stuff. No more incident, okay? You're free now. No more incident.
Let's talk about the good stuff.
Only the good stuff now. TP52s. Let's TP52s.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this question. I'm gonna take this question from one of our viewers. Here's the question. Yeah. Here's the question. What lessons learned? What did you learn after those two incidents? What a lesson learned?
Lessons learned after the Highland Fling incident?
Yes, both incidents.
Man, it was at the time. I'm gonna be honest with you. At the time, when the Highland Fling incident happened, I thought I was never gonna get a job in professional sailing again. And I thought, you know what, this is it. Maybe I should go back to training kids how to sail, or you know, something else. But like I said, you fall forward. And I think from the Highland Fling incident, that taught me seeing the best of the best make mistakes. I mean, the guy who trained me is, I think, a 5-time America's Cup sailor. And if you're there, I mean, that's a couple of badges, you know. So from there, what from that is that, you know, you always fall forward and you learn from your mistake, and yeah, just learn and do better next time.
There you go. We can always do better next time. Okay, the great stuff now. The TP52s. Yeah. How did you get to the TP52s?
So the TP52s, so here I am on Cape Fling. I've come back. I'm a deckhand / navigator during the race, and working in the V&A. It's an amazing place. And I get approached by you know, one of the guys who are in charge of the Team Phoenix, and would you like to, you know, work on the 52? Obviously the answer was yes. But yeah, so that's how I got into it. And yeah. I don't want to unless I don't want to go over your questions. I think you have more questions.
Okay, okay.
But
And
that's
you,
how it's just working through cabling and climbing up slowly. So it was from Highland Fling and Cape Fling, and then I got approached while working at the end of the season, South African season for Cape Fling.
I hear you. Then you get to the TP52. I'm interested to find out how is it like? How is it like to sail in a TP52 circuit? What really sets the TP52 apart from other sailing experience?
Yeah. Over there, I think for the people or watching or people that are gonna look, I think we can compare it to the F1 racing. There's a lot of comparison done. That's sort of what that's sort of the standard that's held in the 52 Super Series. It's high competitive racing, and it's really up there.
It's really up there. I'm aware that I'm very much aware that there's so much work that goes behind the scenes in TP52s in preparing the race, and everything. What is your job entails when the boat gets ashore? What is your job entails?
So my job in the TP52 circuits was driving the chase boat. The chase boat basically is the supply on the water. If you compare it again to the F1 racing, it would be the pit stops, but it would be a pit stop that is buoyant in water. It's just another boat that takes around the emergency kits. Like I'd like to say there's literally a whole nother boat on that, on that vessel. Because we have everything to fix. If you have a problem out in the water, then you can assist, and then you help with the food and water at times. And then when the boats get ashore, it's just helping them get the boat race ready for the next day.
So there's the element of precision there. I often get a little bit confused when I saw the boats on the water with too many ribs and everything. So it actually tells me that there's an element of precision and well-organized structure. Is that something that you can see you teaching our kids at our academy in the future?
Sounds like I need to apply for a job. I think self-maturity when you get into this industry is one of the characters they look at, or being very focused and mature and precise and do your job and make sure you do it and do it at the best way and capabilities you can do it at. So there's a lot of precision into it, and you have to be careful in everything because it's very expensive boats. And there's literally millions pumped into these boats and the crews, and anything can stop that. So you have to be very precise.
Very good. See, let's divert. Let's divert a bit now.
Again, let's go.
Let's talk about your Cape to Rio campaign.
Yeah.
Man, First of all, let me congratulate you for putting that kind of campaign together, a successful campaign together like that. I want to congratulate you. I took my hat off. That was a job well done.
Yes, thank you very much. I wasn't alone in it. I definitely wasn't alone. I could have never done it alone. I tried to, and so we learn you can never do these things alone. You need a group of people, and that's just one of the things that is humbling.
Talking about the group of people, I just want to find out, what was the most challenging part in putting the entire campaign together?
Whew. Where do you start? So first you need a boat. Then you need some money, and then you need some people who are going to sail the boat. And then you need to make those people who have given you the money happy. And then, yeah, it's just, yeah, there's a lot into it. So I can talk, or we'll go in segments. The boat we got from a guy by the name of Stuart Rich in Durban. We were looking for a boat. A good friend of mine and myself were looking for a boat that can be competitive in the Cape to Rio and win it. And then we were looking for money. And I think the best place for money without any argument is Johannesburg. We went and it's very seldom that you get people who want to sponsor you and who are also cause the sailing thing that we're doing. So we got that. We got a guy by the name of Malungelo Zilimbolo, who's an owner of an asset management company, and who is very pro-black youngsters, doing great things in any industry. And he, we had approached him, I think, 3 years before, Michael and myself, Mike Kavanagh, and we finally got a hit. So we got the money, we got the boat from our friend's house, and now we need a crew. And that was a whole nother dilemma in itself. But we finally got a crew. And it was just a roller coaster, man. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Talking about the crew, of course, as a skipper of Mazi, you were mandated to put a team together. And somewhere, somehow along the line, you made changes in the last minute. What exactly happened there? Care to share?
Yeah, I mean, we can share. So, I think from our original crew, we had about one person other than myself that was on there from the proposal. Yeah, so it was just, guys were pulling out, couldn't make it. And then at the one time, like, there was this young lady that I wanted on the crew by the name of Yonela.
Yes.
But I just realized that, like the boat and this excursion that we're going to go on across the pond was just not right for her. So what had happened is that I had to pull the plug on her. And there was just a lot of chops and changes, and there was tickets involved. And yeah, there was just a lot happening. But we finally got a crew, and I was happy with the crew that we got at the end. And I just think if we had enough time on the water prior to the Cape to Rio as the core team, I think we would have done really well. There was really good knowledge on board.
Tell me, how did your crew perform? Were you happy? Do you feel like you guys have achieved the result that you guys were hoping for?
Oh, I was happy. Like, with ocean races, first you have to finish. And you cross the finish line before you can think of podium, before you can think of anything. But we were faced with a whole nother challenge on the start day, which was our alternator that posed, a threat to the race, could jeopardize our race, could end it possibly. But yeah, I mean, I was very happy, to say the least. We could have done better, but yeah, I was very happy.
There you go. See, why the Zulu? Why Zulu girl? Why the name Zulu girl?
Why not? Okay, so why Zulu girl is because I'm from Durban and I thought I'd represent. I thought it'd be a good representation.
Yeah.
You know, where I come from, and if you know vessels well, we like to name them after women for certain reasons. But yeah, so I thought Zulu girl, coming from Durban, coming from KwaZulu-Natal, where I was born and bred. Yeah, I thought it was perfect. And it was a product of 3 a.m. thinking of, you know, what can I call my team one day? You know, you dream.
So you were Zulu all the way from Cape to Rio. You were Zulu.
I've been Zulu since day one.
I like that, my brother. I like that. You know, I'm the one who really, I really love my culture. So I believe I would possible to have done the same thing. You know, just to represent where I came from, and just the uniqueness of the boat, Zulu Girl Yacht Racing. That's the boat that was skippered by Sia Vato, powered by Mazi Asset Management. Sia.
Yes.
You were not only sailing to win the race, but you were also sailing for a great cause. No more hashtag, no more bare feet. Tell me more about that initiative.
So no more bare feet. I'd been looking for, you know, something I can represent while I'm on this journey to skipper the Cape to Rio yacht race. And we were looking and looking, and you know, it wasn't the stuff that I found, because I didn't want it to be fake. Like, you know, all of a sudden you just go and pick, you know, any charity and you go with it. So when this came across, you know, across my attention, it really stuck with me. Basically, the No More Bare Feet initiative, is it basically helps kids that don't have school shoes, and we help them get school shoes. So that's important, man. I mean, one of the things, if you know, growing where we grow up, you know, one of the things that are expensive are school shoes, and it's important to, when you travel these long distances in some cases, or go to school, that you have, you know, shoes on your feet. It's very important. So we backed that campaign and aligned it with ours, and I asked the sponsors if they were happy, and they were super happy. And yeah, till this day we supporting them, and everyone should support them that's watching this video. They currently, though, feeding people at the moment. They've sort of diverted because of the status we have. And we're still supporting them till this day.
What a wonderful initiative, my brother, and I encourage you to continue to support the kids at school. I understand there are kids that are really facing a hard time out there, you know, without shoes and everything. So
especially now, man.
Now approaching winter in South Africa, is gonna get colder. So I encourage everyone to lift their communities and get involved in such initiative. They're very important. Now, see, just a reflection on the Cape to Rio race. What were the biggest lessons, the highs and the lows?
Yeah, highs and the lows. I think the biggest high was the start of the race. Not the biggest, but the highs were the start of the race. The sunsets, sunrises, and I must say, and then crossing the finish line after the struggle we had with the alternator, going across the ocean just on one charge, and you know, having the problems we faced. The that, I think was the biggest high, crossing the finish line and having that Caipirinha in Brazil. The biggest lows, man, I think was being self-motivated in times of crisis. There was a time where we had hit, firstly, where we realized that we're going to be crossing the ocean off of one chart, and we had a big problem in our hands. I think that was the biggest low, or one of the biggest lows. The second biggest low was hitting the storms. And then I think it was super crazy. When we hit that storm, till this day, I think about it. I've hit a couple of storms, but that one was quite unique. So yeah. And then people calling through and checking if you're okay. You point back to and it's but yeah, those were some biggest lows in the race, and just keeping the team motivated in the struggle we had with the energy board.
Like they always say, sailors are made in rough seas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
See, perhaps I'm going to be a little bit controversial on this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How challenging it is to be a black sailor in the sport? What are the challenges of being black in this sport?
Yeah. It's real, man. I mean, it's real. You basically, you have different sort of challenges as a black sailor in the sport. And I mean, then again, you just, you face them, and there's a lot of challenges. There's firstly, you can't be, sailing is a very expensive sport. We both know that. And it's perceived to be an elite sport, but there are ways of getting around it. But you have the challenges of from home. It starts from home. Like, it's like when you tell your family, till this day, I'd say 2/3 of my family don't know anything, so I'm still a fisherman. So, and then just when you get to clubs, and then you have to prove yourself, especially in this elite places like the TP52 Super Circus, the Super Yachts Cup. I mean the Super Yachts places. Then it's very difficult, but it's nothing we can't handle.
There you go. There you have it. Nothing we can't handle. We must always the circumstances.
Yes.
Okay. Sia, you've done pretty much in your sailing career. You name it: Rio campaign, TP52s, flings, and you play a particular huge role there. I just want to, before I let you go, to find out what's next for Sia. I'm aware that you have this vision of doing a Vedic globe. Is that your next milestone?
Yeah, that's a big dream. But baby steps, man. Baby steps. That's definitely on the cards. I'd love to do that. What's next for me? I'd like to go sailing first and foremost, and then after that, I don't know, man. Hopefully, maybe a Cape 31 in the mix. We'll see. I'd like to do some sailing in Europe, some short-handed sailing. A friend of mine who has a mini transat. Ian talks about, but with all with the situation we have, the global situation we have, we don't know what's going to happen. So, but I'll be sure to let you know.
but
there's a lot that we're still going to do. I'm still young. We do a lot.
But the Vert Globe is in your bucket list.
Yes. Oh, yes,
That's
for sure. Yes, yes. And the Volvo. If there's anybody listening here that is involved in the Volvo, I need it.
The Volvo Ocean.
The Volvo. That's the next one. That's the next one, I think.
See, I feel so inspired, man. And once again, congratulations on the work that you have done. You know, we saw you studying very much well on Highland Flings, coming back to Cape Town, doing well on Cape Flings, to the TP52, and most recently Cape to Rio race. See, we're very proud of you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, Mo. And I hope I did you justice. And you're doing very well as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just before I let you go, what advices can you give youngsters who see themselves following in your footsteps, selling TP52s, getting their Rio campaign together? What are the advices you can give them to be where you are right now?
I think I can give them the advice that I got from my mentors is that, man, you just need to, say thank you, say please, put your head down, work, and work hard for what you want. Man, and the rest will take care of itself. And my thing, pray, man, pray is also another important one.
Yeah. And also in TP52s, in that kind of level, I know there's too many roles that someone can fill in, whether you're a rip driver or a sailor or just a water guy. I'm not so sure. What other skill sets would you advise that these youngsters must obtain if they want to occupy those roles? What are the skill sets that are the most valuable in the industry?
In this industry, I think the most important one would just be open to learning new things. Like from when I started sailing, it always just used to be, head out there and look at nature, look at the wind, look at the water on the wind. And now it's a numbers game. You move to the TP52, everything is just numbers. So you have to be willing to learn. And things are changing, and the technology involved. There's just so much. So there's no one thing that I can say, but just be willing to learn, which is, I think, very important.
There you go. See ya.
Yeah.
I think you've got a wonderful story to tell, my brother, and I hope you kept on inspiring the youngsters, and also I encourage you to keep on sharing your skills and your knowledge to these guys that are looking up to you, and we wish you all the very best of luck to your sailing career, to everything that you want to achieve. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was Siya Vato.
Thank you, Mo.
And the skipper.
I'm not a TP52 sailor just yet, but maybe one day. I'm a rim driver.
We anoint you now. We anoint you now to be one.
I'll be sending my CVs through.
Siya, thank you so much, my brother. Any last words?
No. Are there any questions from those that I see there were some questions that I think we missed out on. If there are questions, I think it's really important that people must ask. What do you think, Mo?
Nothing from my side, brother. I'm all good. I'm all happy for you, and I haven't seen a question coming in here, so I think that's it for today. We're gonna end up here.
Okay, nice one. Thank you, Mo. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Stay safe.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers, cheers. Bye.